So good. Kia ora, welcome to another vlog. So my pick for the month, or rather my sister's pick for me for the month, is Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot. Not sure how to pronounce that. And it's a murder of Rodger Ackroyd, I think. I don't have the copy on me right now. So I'm super excited to get into that. So I'm really behind on my reading for the book club this month because I wrongly thought that I'd be able to get a lot of reading done while my partner's away. He's on a 6-day wānanga, but obviously that was stupid and I have not got any reading done. So I'm behind, but lucky for me, Emily said we could swap vlogs. So I've got a bit of spare time. So yeah. Isn't my cat just the cutest? Everyone, this is Tepo. You met briefly in our last vlog. Right, so I'm 5 pages in already. I'm not sure if I like the writing. Just something about like the tone. And I guess like if all of the books feature on the same dude, not sure I'm gonna be a fan. But again, 5 pages. Can you tell a lot from 5 pages in a book? Yes and no. Sometimes your thoughts stay the same, and other times like 1 page can completely shift your perspective. And I definitely feel more drawn in to the story than I thought I would, despite the fact that the writing is just not vibing with me. It could be just obviously like, I'm assuming this is like a pretty old book, like in terms of when it was published, relatively speaking, compared to what I normally read. So yeah, some of the comments I don't understand at all. So maybe it's just a me thing though, because there's a whole blurb at the front about like how popular this book is, why it's so popular. Yeah, so I guess like let's keep reading. It's been rain warnings, thunderstorm warnings, coastal tornado warnings. Not near me, we have had the rain warning, if you can hear that. Our streets flooded, our streams flooded, so just like not really sure how much reading I'm going to get done today, but we gotta give it a go, because shockingly I am fucking behind and I have not read like near enough of the book that I wanted to by this point in time, so wish me luck. Okay, so my sister has no idea that I haven't finished this book yet. I, thank God, thought to listen to the audiobook, and it's actually been really enjoyable, like all of the accents. Honestly, I don't want to admit this, but I was so confused at one point when the sister starts calling him James, and I was like, who the fuck is James? I thought this was about Hercules, the detective. So then I'm like, who the fuck is James? I'm so confused. And I was like, isn't he a detective? I'm reading about a doctor. What? Is he a doctor and a detective? Is this like a small town thing? Like, I was so confused. So obviously now I'm up to like chapter 9 or something, and I'm with it. Okay, I figured it out. Again, it's enjoyable. There's too many men for my liking. Like the women are all put in very like gossipy roles. I guess that's just like the era of when it's written. The writing it's giving me whiplash. I feel like I kind of write a little bit, I don't want to say I write like her, that's not what I'm saying at all, but it's kind of a bit flowery, maybe. Flowery, is that the word? There's a lot of commas, all right, a lot of commas, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'm definitely becoming more curious about like who done it, but again, I'm just like, then like, oh, who moved this chair? How did this chair get here? How did the chair go? And I'm just like, the person like sat on it, and like we know there was a person there talking to him, and then he like, so maybe they sat on the chair and then they left. Like, I'm sure it's gonna come out, like, but when he's like, the chairs speak to me, I'm just like, do they? Like, I don't know, like maybe this just isn't the genre for me. Part of the reason why I'm behind is because ADHD. The other reason is because I actually had to evacuate my house yesterday. So it was like rain warnings all over the country, and then shockingly actually the stream right by where I live like kind of like burst its banks, and there was a massive flood into the cul-de-sac I live in. So we had to like pack up our bus, move, and so that basically just took up the whole day. Had to evacuate. They shut off the street, like everyone was fine, it all receded, but it was like you couldn't not evacuate. And that took up the whole day, which I was supposed to be reading and filming. So yeah, I read today on the bus, super sick, so I kind of slept. So I'm hoping I've got like 4.5 hours of the audiobook left. So I'm gonna like do a bit of reading with the book, do some audiobook, and yeah. Anyways, my mum and I are just watching Vanderpump Rules and chatting, gonna have ice cream, do some editing, and then do some reading. Bye. Emily and I actually had mocktails and a little like mini meeting when I got off the bus, and I was like, yeah, my vlog's meant to go up today. Like, she just has no idea that I have not read this book, so I guess you're not surprised at all. She has obviously finished reading Court of Thorns and Roses, and I am so freaking excited for our discussion about it, because she makes these comments at the end of her video and I'm just dying, because I'm like she did not pick up on what other people claim they pick up on. And again, this is what I said when we first talked about it, I don't think that they picked up on it. I think it was like an after the fact thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm at the 50% mark, and I am, what's the word? Underwhelmed. I just think this is the problem with books that get a lot of hype. And this is why it's interesting that we both were tasked with reading like hyped books, essentially, just in different genres, because the thing about a hyped book is that you're like, everyone's like, it's so good. It's kind of like, it has movies, it's all these things, and then you read it going into it with kind of these really high expectations, and right, like perspective is everything, right? Everything is relative. So I think I was kind of like, Agatha Christie, wow, and I'm reading it and I'm like, yeah, it's a good book, and what? Like, you know, and I feel like that is then potentially souring my experience of the story itself, right? Because I'm focusing too much on the wrong things. I don't know that I care for the murder mystery. Like, thrillers are really interesting because it's like the fear, the kind of visceral feeling of like, what's gonna happen? This is like, it's already happened. Like, I feel like all the conflict and the tension has come beforehand. So I am actually really interested to read another like a murder mystery to see if it is an Agatha thing or if it is a genre thing. Anyway, so I'm just gonna pack and then go for a walk, go to the bakery, go to the bookstores, and get a train to my sister's and let her know that I haven't finished the book and have her hopefully be totally fine. But yeah, bye. Just hiding outside because I don't know if Emily's actually registered that I haven't finished the book yet. So I think I'm chapter 18 or 19, so like really close to the end. It's definitely getting more interesting. I'm loving, like I had a look and like each of the next few chapters are like titled after like suspects and like people involved. So I think that's really fun that it kind of seems like it's almost segregated into the different people like that. Right, so filmed some videos with my sister and I finished The Murder of Rodger Ackroyd in the shower right before we did our discussion about it. I was like, fuck, I've still got like an hour of this audiobook left to go. So she's still like, why haven't you done your vlog? I'm like, because I just finished the book right before our discussion. So my takeaways for this vlog are, I fucking screamed when I found out that the narrator the entire time is the murderer, and I'm not entirely sold on whether or not I agree with that. Like, do I think it's cheating to like be first person and then like they are the murderer? I'm just not sure how I feel about that. Like, you know what, it was interesting seeing all the people and like why they were lying and what their secrets were, and kind of how everyone can be like appear to be a suspect but actually it's for very different reasons. I think Agatha Christie is a great writer, but I certainly think I would have enjoyed it way less if I was reading it myself. The audiobook was incredible. It was like 6.5 hours. It made the writing way more enjoyable because it kind of gave a whole like atmospheric vibe with the like the accent and stuff. So I definitely will be picking up more Agatha Christie in the future. Again, I'm just not sure, like, was that cheating? Agatha, were you cheating? Because it's first person. Like, yes, like Emily said, it could be argued, are we in his head or is he talking to us? And when I reflect on some of the narration, it does give a vibe of like him telling us what's happening, like we're not in his head, but it's not third person, it's first person, and first person to me does always feel like we're more in their head. So I don't know, sneaky.